Wanted to do a video on our Pro Series. We've been getting a lot of questions about the Pro Series, and just kind of wanted to give you some information and some things that are coming up with it. Right now, we currently have 3 meets listed for 2025 that are part of the Pro Series. And basically, the Pro Series is open to everyone who has a 450 or higher DOTS. That's easily found on Open Powerlifting. If you go to a meet that you've done, our federation or others, click your name and it's going to bring up your history. So that's going to be what you're looking for there, to be able to find the dots to see if you qualify. That web address that has your name and your event history is also what we need on that registration form when it asks for your open lifter profile. That's your open lifter profile right there. Now that 450 dots can be attained at really any time. We've not put a time restriction on this. A lot of times we'll have to have hit these numbers or hit these dots within a 1-year period. We're not doing that with this. So again, there's no invites going out for this thing. So each meet is open to everyone for registration. It will have the disclaimer on there. You must have at least a 450 dots. You do have to prove it with a link to your open lifter profile. But that 450 could have come about 2 years ago, 5 years ago. We're not going to get real picky about the time frame. People get injured and come back, and we want to open this up to as many lifters as possible and give lifters the opportunity to move to the pro division and make a little money at meets. Pro Series is open to lifters competing in the raw and the wraps category. We are going to combine those for the payout. They will not be separated, and there's no deduction for the wraps category. We've had quite a few meets where the raw lifter actually has a higher DOTS than a wrap lifter. And of course it works the other way, but again, just for simplicity, raw and wraps will be combined together. Nothing for the gear divisions yet. We are working towards a equipped pro meet, and what that would be is probably going to be something that's only for single and multi-ply lifters, and we're looking to try to do that in Ohio or Michigan. Doug and I are trying to work on the details for that thing. We'll get that together eventually. The Pro Series will offer payouts when it's a full day event with 60 lifters. We'll have a payout of a total of $10,000. $3,000 will go to first place, $1,000 to second place, $500 to third place. That's both men and women eligible for that. Now there are minimums. I can't have 2 ladies in a meet and it filled up with guys. Obviously we're going to have to change that payout schedule, but if it's relatively balanced, at least double digits of both genders, then that would be the payout schedule. If we have less than 60 lifters, the payout schedule will have to be adjusted. We're basically taking this entire day and giving all that money back to the lifters. The other format we would have would be a sessions meet. In a sessions meet, we would have an amateur morning session and then a pro afternoon session. When that happens, obviously, we're going to have a limited amount of lifters in the pro session, so the payout would be cut back. Typical payout would be about half of the normal 10,000 payout, so we'd have about 5,000 in a sessions meet. We hope to not do a lot of the session events. I'd love to do it as a 2-day event, but that's not going to work everywhere, so we've left that a little flexible. As far as the payment schedule goes, we are also going to throw in a bonus payment. So the payout for the event will be $3,000 for first place, $1,000 for second, $500 for third, all based off of dots. So completely off the dot score. It all is based off of the open division as well. We will not have subcategories. Don't plan to do. You can opt in for drug testing, but you will not be separated when it comes to the payout. Juniors, masters, those types of subdivisions, they're going to be all combined into the open division for the payout. But when we do a bonus category, usually $500 payout, more if there's more available, but at least $500 when we've got a full meet of 60 lifters. And some meets will offer different bonus payouts. I know we already have one on the books for the largest total, and that's going to be the biggest total in kilos of the meet for the men and the women, $500 a piece. We have others that will offer the biggest bench, biggest deadlift. Again, this is all raw, and unless it's full meat wraps. Might do squat as well. We don't have one of those set up yet, but eventually we'll move to that. And you can actually enter the meet as a deadlift only competitor. If you're doing the full meet, you're automatically going to be eligible. If there's a bonus on a single lift, you're automatically going to be eligible. But if you're a deadlift specialist and you want to sign up and go after the biggest deadlift, and that's one of the bonuses we're paying out, well, you're eligible for it. As I think it's important that we are very transparent about everything, the payout will be published well in advance. It's already published with the best case scenario. If we get this many lifters, this is the payout. It will be updated as we get a little closer to the event if we don't hit those numbers. But obviously, if we're 40 lifter meet, it's got to be adjusted a little bit. But I promise you it will be adjusted appropriately and nothing crazy. It's not like we're going to have a 40 lifter pro meet and the payouts go down to $100 or something like that. It's, for first place. We're not going to do anything like that. It's still going to be substantial based off of the number of lifters we have. The other thing that we will do is the lifters will walk out of the venue with money. Whether that's a check, a Venmo, a PayPal, Cash App, however they want to be paid. We'll make sure that you leave the venue with money. There is no waiting to be paid later or anything like that. The events will be run a standard USPC meet. We will have a monolift. I will list all the equipment that's going to be used on the platform, the bars. Obviously, we'll have calibrated kilo plates. We'll be listed on Open Powerlifting, eligible for state, national, and all-time world records. But those of you that are familiar with the pro circuit and some of these pro meets that have video backgrounds and fireworks and all kinds of crazy stuff going on, that's not what we're going to do. It'll be a professional, well-run meet, I can promise you that. But I could spend thousands of dollars on fancy things that look really nice in pictures. But my thought on this process is that the lifters would appreciate that money more than spending it on a bunch of extra things. So instead of small payouts, let's do bigger payouts and more frequent payouts. And finally, I want to touch on the fact that this will all accumulate into our end of the year big pro meet, the Shack Showdown. That's where the bigger payouts will be. And while we'll open this up to other lifters, the priority will go to those who lift in our pro series. So the selection process for lifters going into this meet will be based off of this year's Shack meet and our pro series. So those meets is will be what we're going to pick from, and then we will fill in as needed with higher level lifters with bigger dots that maybe didn't compete in our series and competed elsewhere. Hopefully that clears up a lot of the questions that are hanging out there. Again, this is ever evolving. So as sponsors come on board and we add new events and we add new gear categories and do more things, then all that will be updated on the website. If you go to uspc.pl, there is a pro series page there. So be sure and check that out. Sign up for our newsletter and our SMS text updates, and we'll keep you kind of apprised of what's going on. And as always, reach out with any questions. Instagram, email, johnny@uspc.pl, and happy to address anything that comes up.